Wait a minute. This isn't my world. Disappointed!
I'm going to be honest. Disappointment is in the air, my friends. I finally read through Batman 100. James Tynion's been working towards this since he took over the series at Batman 86 after Tom King was unceremoniously showed the door, removed from the title early. And I have been stating that up until as soon as the designer story arc, and we learned that the designer was in fact Joker, it turned out that was a preview to Joker War. As soon as that started, this entire series is ground to a halt because it felt like they were bleeding out time so they could get to issue 100 and finish up this story arc. Now, you have to keep in mind that James Tynion was only supposed to be on this series for a very short period. It was supposed to be from like 86 to 100. They were going to restart it with John Ridley. John Ridley's new Batman was going to be the Batman, the one that's going to be in the miniseries now. So this series wasn't supposed to go past this issue, and you can see it at the end, and I'll get to that part. But I expected, I believed in my heart of hearts that Batman 100 was going to deliver the goods that, yes, they had, we'd had 5 filler issues in a row, and basically nothing of note really had happened for anyone other than Harley Quinn. She's certainly been the star of this story so far. But I really thought this was going to deliver the goods. Not really. Not really at all. It's fairly mundane. A lot of retread storylines. And I don't mean like going back into the annals of Batman and maybe pulling out some bones from the graveyard and maybe putting a twist on them and redoing it. I'm talking storylines that just ended, storylines that ended within the last couple of years. So I ended up finding this exceptionally disappointing. So James Tynion, obviously, he's doing a better job than Tom King, but that is such a low bar to exceed. This is the flagship title for DC. I can't believe it. I was hoodwinked. I was bamboozled. I thought that this was gonna, it was gonna be worth my time to go in and read this. And obviously, the Joker War storyline itself has been a convoluted mess. When you talk about the tie-ins of being like an event, you can tell this was all thrown together at the very last minute. Now, there have been some very good things that have come out of this, and I'm going to get to that during my review. But for the most part, I'm underwhelmed, very underwhelmed, other than the art and a couple of things. So this is a 2.5-star comic, mostly because the art is great. There is some pretty cool action, and there is a part of the story that's good. But I don't recommend this comic. I feel bad to anyone that stuck around with me for this because it ended up not being what I wanted. So before I get into that, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, give me a thumbs up if you enjoy this review, give me a thumbs down if you don't. I imagine I'll be getting a lot of naysayers, people disagreeing with my take on Batman 100 and the Joker War story arc, and that's fine. We are allowed to disagree. We can have different expectations for our Batman comic, but as long as we love comics, we come together, we discuss them, we can debate it. That's really what this is all about. So let me get into the story, and I will start out with the art because it is absolutely amazing. If Jorge Jimenez isn't like a superstar artist now after this story arc, because he really did put in the work, and the sales were astronomical. If you didn't know Jorge Jimenez and his American manga style weren't the bee's knees, the shiznit, you know now, because this has been a beautifully illustrated comic. Not the best of 2020. I still believe that's Batman 3 Jokers from Jason Fabok. This is right up there. This is like 5-star art, 4.5, 5-star. I would say this is 5-star. He put a lot into this book. There's a lot of cool stuff. There's a lot of action in this book. That's why it's much better than the last few issues. At least things are happening, and there is a big confrontation between Batman and the Joker, and you can see him finally, blast him in the face and breaking off the mask of the Batman suit that Alfred had for him from when he was like basically overseeing Camelot, and Gotham was a beautiful city, and he was going to be able to grow old, with Catwoman and in his suit of armor. And he breaks that off of Joker. And then my favorite panel actually is this bottom part here on the right. Bruce clicks off the lights as they're fighting, and all of a sudden it goes dark, and these panels just really cool. I think Jorge Jimenez and color artist Tomi Mori. I don't want to forget him. Like, he absolutely brought it. This, is he the best color artist in the industry? I think it's Laura Martin, but it might be Tomi Mori, because he absolutely brings the heat here. And it's just when he lights it up, it's just the colors and the way the abstract nature of the paneling is just really cool. The two of them absolutely knocked. That's my favorite piece of art in this. It seems so small and insignificant, especially when you have so many like posterizing events happening in this comic book. But that is my favorite part in this comic. And a lot of times I was like, well, it's worth the price, just for the art. If you love great Batman art, this probably is worth it. But I've invested a lot of my soul, my time into this comic series. I went and read frickin' Batgirl from Cecil Castellucci, one of the worst comic writers in all of the industry, easily the worst comic writer at DC. I'll say even worse than Brian Michael Bendis. I went through Cecil Castellucci comics to be invested in Joker War. I went and read Dan Jurgens' Rick Grayson Nightwing that I absolutely hate to be invested in this comic book. So I expected more. I thought this was going to be a huge payoff, and so if you love great art, this is worth the price of admission. But if you invested in the storyline and this is the payoff, I say not. I say no. I'm a naysayer. So the beginning of it's not actually too bad. Like I said in an earlier video, first thing we see, Barbara Gordon in her Batgirl outfit is in the watchtower, and she's taken the sheets off of the old equipment, and she gets to work, and she tells everybody Oracle's back online, and she basically uses a PA to tell the whole city, listen, the Bat family is here. I'm Oracle. We're protecting the city, and we're about to take it back. And then this middle part's kind of weird. This is basically Commissioner Bullock. Obviously, he's the commissioner since Commissioner Gordon was infected during the year of the villain story arc. Just what a bane on DC Comics that thing was. But so he's the commissioner, and this is what the police officer says as he's about to go and take on the criminals and follow Oracle's lead. This is what the sergeant says. This is from City Hall, the mayor. He said that you do it and you're done. You're on thin ice as it is. What's thin ice mean? That could mean a lot of things, but this is what Harvey Bullock says to the GCPD. He says, boys, this is your ex-commissioner Bullock speaking, because he throws his badge down. The GCPD is being asked to stand down, being told that defying City Hall is going to cost you your badge and your gun. The hell did he say that? Is that even implied you're on thin ice? It sounds like you're going to get fired if you don't. You're all going to lose your. I think he might be overselling what was said there. So I don't think that was good dialogue, but like I said, the beginning's good because you finally get to see Dick Grayson back in his Nightwing costume. Obviously, he became Dick Grayson again recently. That's okay. I'll talk about the best thing that James Tynion's done. He has reset the status quo of the Bat family. Batgirl is Oracle now. She's going to be Oracle through 2021. 2 thumbs up. Dick Grayson is back to being Nightwing. 4 thumbs up. Can I give enough thumbs up on that one? Tim Drake is no longer Drake. He's back to Red Robin. 2 thumbs up. Psychotic Damian Wayne, who's got secret prisons and is abusing people, is no longer Robin. He needs to redeem himself. I think that's good. They've ruined the character. That was a terrible story, although I did like Teen Titans. That was a bad part of it because it ruined the character. Let him redeem himself, then he can be Robin again. So the resetting of the Bat family, I like. Obviously, Alfred's not here with us. He's still dead from Tom King's run. He'll be back eventually, but there's nothing he can do about that. So with what he had, I think he reset things well, and I'm happy that he did. Even if it was a convoluted mess and none of it really made sense. But so let's get into the stuff that really bothers me. And it is almost all of the confrontation between the Joker and Batman. And it is a beautifully illustrated fight scene. It lasts a very large portion of this comic book. And I don't know, there's some weird stuff going on in here. It's like he's reanimated Alfred, and he's kind of using Alfred's corpse to keep Batman off guard. And he's like stabs him in the back, and Batman's telling him to shut up. It is whatever. He's talking about all his money. And then they go into this whole thing about, he's rubbing it in on Alfred being gone. Whatever future you had dreamed of, you got to wear this shiny new costume. It's gone, Bruce. It's all gone. What did you picture? Retirement? Spending long hours in the manor with robins and grand robins cooing at their feet? And the city, some bright, shining paragon, metropolis with fewer aliens, Whatever, man. This is a bad speech. And he talks the whole time. It's not. But the worst part is Joker absolutely beats the piss out of Batman. He fucks him up. And he fucks him up some more. And he keeps fucking him up. Now I get Batman's distracted by Alfred. And he does let off an explosive near his head. But Joker couldn't beat Batman, with two arms tied behind his back. There's no one physically, they are no match. Like, it makes no sense. So Batman getting beat up by the Joker, and Joker has him like in his sights. He's talking about, I'm going to carve your face up. Get out of here, man. And he talks about during this whole thing, he's like, you think you can win? You've already lost. You think I was filling movie theaters up with people that was my plan? That was just to keep you busy while the real plan happened. And the real plan was to expose the city of Gotham for what it was, that Bruce Wayne and Wayne Enterprises couldn't, and GCPD couldn't save them from what had happened or what could happen to the city. And Bruce Wayne's a fraud, and he's going to break him back down to nothing and turn the city against him. Like, I almost feel like Scott Snyder dared James Tynion. He's like, you know what? You've got 15 issues, kid. You're following up Tom King. Just write a better version of City of Bane, but do it with Joker. Show him how you really do City of Bane, with the whole city being taken over. Make some real consequences and show him how you write a better version of that. It's like, you only get 15 issues. It's not like you can really do anything anyway. And I think that's what we got here. But he also steals a lot of stuff from Sean Gordon Murphy's Batman White Knight. Like, all the I'm going to expose Bruce Wayne for what he is and let everyone know that Wayne Enterprises is corrupt and this whole city is corrupt and everyone's going to turn on you. I just read this story, but a billion times better within the last few years. If we're gonna straight up lift story arcs, can we wait till they're on ice for, 5, 10 years? 10 years. Give me 10 years before you go back and just lift a story arc. And this one, he's lifted multiple story arcs. He's lifted, Batman White Knight and City of Bane. Now, is this better than Tom King's City of Bane? Absolutely. That was trash. This is much better than trash. It's just not really good. Or not really good. It's not really good at all. It's not good because it's so slow paced. Some of the action, but it's just rehashing what's already been done. And in the case of White Knight, what's already been done a billion times better. It's just so disappointing that this ended up being what it was. Look at the waste of art. Look at that beautiful shot in the middle. Joker's face. Looks terrifying. Yeah, this is. You've already lost, Bruce. My plan was already executed when everyone knew you were a fraud. Been there, done that. So let's get into kind of one of the things that was done pretty well. The color work by Tom Mori was off the charts. And just this last scene where you got Harley Quinn and Joker and Batman, because she's the one that saves Batman. Next thing you know, Joker gets blasted in the face. How he survives a shotgun blast to the eyeball, I'll never know. It doesn't look like it was buckshot. It looks like it was a slug. You know what I mean? It's not like his face is sprayed. He's got one big hole. He took a slug to the face, but he's still alive. Whatever. But the coloring on this is beautiful. The setting is beautiful. The art is amazing. Just look at this. It just oozes mood, tone, setting. Like, this is why you read comic books, for these pictures. Just not for the story, in my opinion. But there is a good twist, and I'll say this. It's very clear to me, James Tynion has a place in his heart for Harley Quinn because she's really been the star of the show. She's the only character that's routinely done anything in this damn story arc. Batman literally has almost done nothing until this issue right here when he finally starts kicking ass and then confronts Joker. I think he might have taken out a couple of goons in one of the issues, but that was it. She's been taking out punchlines. You know, she had her neck slit, her throat slit. You know, she took out Punchline, although they didn't take her to jail. That made no sense. Pretty stupid. But she does go to jail this time because Nightwing got his hands on her at least. But that's all ruined at the end. We'll get into that part. But this character has been done really well. The fact that I hate Harley Quinn, whatever. This part's done really well, and she says, you know what? I know that you're not going to let me kill Joker. Although she just shot him in the eyeball with the fucking bullet. What else do you want her to do to kill Joker? I know you're not going to let me kill Joker, even though I just shot him in the face. Not with a shotgun blast like buckshot, like with an actual slug. So she straps a bomb to Joker's chest. And she says, you're going to have to choose him or me. And then she jumps off a ledge. And it looks beautiful. And Batman has to choose. And Joker's kind of like laughing. He's like, all right, Bats, unhook me. Take me in. And Bats like walks by him. He's like, screw it. I'm going to go save Harley because we're besties now. I don't even care about you. I'm not taking you in alive. And he jumps down, you know, and it's very much implied by this picture over here on the right where you see the big kaboom in the top of the buildings being blown off, that the bomb with Joker on it explodes, right? He's dead. I was like, might be the best part. One of them was going to die, so I was happy. I was like, either one of my least favorite characters, Harley Quinn's going to be dead, or Joker is at least going to be gone for a few years until they resurrect it. It's not the case, unfortunately. But the relationship between the stuff between Batman and Harley Quinn is easily the highlight of the entire story arc. That's unfortunate because she's not a good character. They completely wasted her, but there you go. That's it. But so in the end, we do get the end of the story, and it's this image over here, and then we get all this epilogue because, like I said, this Batman run was supposed to start at 100. It was supposed to end with this conversation between Batman and Harley Quinn in the hospital, and that was it. It was going to restart at issue 1 with a new Batman, probably Luke Fox with maybe Tim Fox. And then all of a sudden, they saw the sales. He's introducing characters like, hey, we're not doing 5G. James Tynion, your sales are good, son. You're the Batman, right? He's like, oh, shit. Scott Snyder dared me to do a better version of the City of Pain. I didn't think I was sticking around. So he had to tack on all this crap on the right, and I'll get to that part. But here on the left, when they're talking about everything that happened, and Bruce is like, I've got nothing anymore. I'm going to have to start over. I got no money. You know, my family's back at least, but I got no money. I got no gadgets. I'm going to have to start protecting Gotham like on my own again. Okay. I've already seen that. Batman Year 1, Batman Year 2, Batman Year 0, whatever. And then they have this conversation, and she's like, is Joker dead? He's like, nah. We found that the bomb was on the building, but he'd used my shining suit to disarm it. What the fuck was the explosion? Riddle me that, James Tynion. What the fuck was the explosion? Where is it? Right here that says kaboom on the top of the building, where it's clear that's where Joker was sitting with a bomb strapped to his chest. You said it was disarmed. Looks like it blew up to me. Whatever. So it's supposed to be the end of the story, but it's not the end of the story because they were like, damn, your sales are good. So we got this big epilogue, like fucking 12 pages of just add-on. It makes no sense. And I'll go with them in the order of most interesting to least interesting, and not the order that they gave. So the most interesting, in the solicitations, we are promised the first big confrontation between Batman and Clown Hunter. It's in the epilogue, and it's not a big confrontation. It's a conversation. It's the first conversation, not really confrontation. He goes over there. He says, "Hey, kid, I know that you're this Vietnamese kid, and your parents died because of Joker 5 years ago, and you think I let you down. You're going through some things. Here's a card. This lady's going to help you out. She got me through my issues as a kid, and I think you could use some therapy. Also, if you kill anybody again, I'm going to stop you. Big confrontation. And then the next part, this is actually really stupid. So the Joker's in a diner with a hoodie. Clearly it's Joker. You can tell by his skin tone and everything. And this dude, they're like talking. And next thing you know, on the TV, or no, he shows him his phone. He's like, you haven't heard about Punchline? And she reveals who she really is. And she says, I was the victim the whole time. The Joker used me. That's not who I am. Somehow she's not in jail, even though she's a mass murderer like Harley Quinn. Why aren't we putting women in jail that are serial killers in DC Comics? I have no idea. But she just plays a victim. It's really stupid. And Joker laughs. He's like, oh, it's the signal. It's the signal. And he laughs. And then he infects this guy to make him look like Joker. And he's like, ha, 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 ha. They're going to think you're the Joker and that I was dead the whole time. But by the time they figure it out, I'm already going to be doing my next plan, which will probably be Batman, the war of jokes and steroids, Joker versus Bane. Maybe at the end of that one, like Mr. Polka Dot, it'll turn out Joker was trying to make him laugh, or Bane was trying to use Mr. Polka Dot to make him laugh or something. In the war of jokes and steroids is Bane and Joker square off, and he can steal another fucking storyline from Tom King that had potential but absolutely sucked. And then the last thing, this is actually the first part of the epilogue, is the introduction of Ghostmaker. I'm not excited. I'm not excited by any of this. I guess that's my review. I'm not impressed. There's some good parts about this. The art's absolutely phenomenal. Huge letdown for me as far as Joker War goes. This is probably it for me as far as Batman. This isn't bad Batman, but it's not good Batman, and I'm not going to pay top dollar, good coin for mediocre comics, and I certainly don't want to review it anymore. I've had enough. I felt like it was a public service to just review the Tom King run because it was so awful that it needed to be maintained for posterity's sake, so people in the future can see what a bad Batman run looks like, and they can go in the comic and see how much people hated it. But this is very mediocre. People are going to overrate it because Tom King's run was such garbage, and that's true, and I understand the sentiment. But there are a million great Batman stories. In fact, there's going to be a video right here on the channel, I believe, on Wednesday. It's Wednesday or Thursday, where you and I are going to discuss who has the more iconic slate of stories, Batman or Spider-Man. And when you look at the lineup of just great stories Batman has, this isn't going to touch like the top 40 or 50. This is very average. This will be quickly forgotten. It's a bad retread. It's a better retread of City of Bane, but it's still bad. It's a terrible version of Sean Gordon Murphy's Batman White Knight, in my opinion. And I don't know. That's it. If you enjoyed Joker War, if you like Batman 100, I'm glad you feel like you got your money's worth. I feel like I was bamboozled. I stuck around for something I knew I wasn't enjoying because I knew this was going to be the payoff. And like I said, disappointment was in the air. And I remain disappointed. James Tynion's Batman is very average. I should have known this because his Detective Comics, in my opinion, suck too. I had to bow out of that when I stuck around too long. And I'm not going to make the same mistake twice. I'm done with Batman until there's a new writer or someone can convince me that James Tynion's doing a great run. And that someone's not going to be someone that says this is good. It's going to be someone that's like, yeah, I thought Joker War sucked too, but it's good now. I'll be like, well, you know what? You're a brother in arms. You thought it sucked too? Let me try the new story. Until then, sayonara, Batman. I'm done.